Oh.
Okay. Oh.
Oh. Hey, this is Nitro Ride.
This is Nitro Ride.
I am Coyote.
And I am The Cosmos.
And today, we're talking about emotion.
Isn't it a blast?
Oh, man. We fucking... All decisions, first and foremost, based on emotion. What are you doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing, lady? Keep going.
Start with emotion and end with emotion, and I feel like we're uncomfortable with that idea.
Or some people are.
Mm-hmm.
Some people more than others
Consistently.
definitely try to mask it or keep it out on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it does, I mean, the more you act from a place of emotion when dealing with things, that it definitely gets in the way. Like when you're living with somebody and you need to say something, but you're entwined with their life so hard.
Yeah, you're responsible for however they feel afterwards. Yeah.
You don't get a break from seeing it. You go, oh man, I just made their day so bad.
Yeah.
I just feel like shit.
Mm-hmm. And that can prevent you from telling the truth sometimes.
Oh, that you see it in marriages, in any agreement where emotion is a two-way street.
Yeah.
To the point where one person will make it a one-way street and hide it, and then resentment comes into play. And dude, been there so many times, and I'm like, why am I so... And then I'm just mad whenever I see that person.
Oh, dude, that's called fucking... So, my friend Jordan came up with this phrase called toenailing, wherein it's not a perfect parallel to what you're talking about, but where you just... Usually it happens when you're with somebody for a very, very long time, and some kind of, like, negative seed will be planted. Like, they treat you like shit, or you come home and you're expecting something great. This could be with a roommate, or it's typically, I feel it's with a roommate, because there's so much that goes into that, whether you're friends with them beforehand or not. Like, I think that people typically underestimate how intimate living with somebody can be when you're not in a relationship with them. Because
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, it becomes... Well, it depends, because there's a couple kinds of people, and when you live with people that you gel with, you want them to be happy, and you're like, oh man, it's so good that we're like, this feels nice. Like, we can party, we can have the same friends, we can do all this stuff, but it might lead to dude, it's so weird when you love your roommate, but they just can't pay bills on time, or they've never cleaned a day in their life.
Seriously lacking in the roommate department. Yeah. Yeah, that's exhausting. And it's hard to have those conversations, too.
Yeah.
But especially when you love the person.
Exactly.
But when this toenailing idea, typically it comes around with roommates because you spend so much of your time with them. And I want to talk to you about coming home, too. That's been something that I've been thinking about so much today. But, toenailing, you begin to, I don't want to say loathe or despise, because those are pretty dramatic words, but dislike this person's company so much that even the sight of their toenails just piss you off. Like, everything about them that is so irritating to you, and that turns into those, you ever hanging out with a friend and they're complaining about somebody they work with, like a coworker or their roommate, and they're telling you, like, oh, that fucker used some of my shampoo today, and they're just livid about it. And you're like, what are you on about, man? Why are you so upset about this?
You're letting this get way deeper under your skin than you should.
Exactly. And that's toenailing. I've been using a phrase for that for a really long time.
It's a good phrase.
Yeah.
Because, like, it really grinds your gears. And you can't help it.
Yeah.
You're so pissed off. You're like... And normally it's because you don't want to say something because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
You go, okay, you're going to figure it out that I'm stressed out.
Yes.
Because you are doing this.
Yeah.
But then you don't say anything either. Like, and so...
you're both as guilty.
It's, and it's like, dude, I need to fucking say something. But I can't because, oh man, he just has such a hard day, or she has a hard day, and I know the backstory of why this person does this, and then you make excuses, and no one likes excuses.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're relating it all to roommates a lot, but this can totally happen with your significant other. I feel like, especially if you're young.
Yeah.
Like if you're 17, 18,
God,
and you
dude.
don't have a lot of your values figured out.
Yeah.
I can definitely think of times where I was dating somebody in high school. I was also a piece of shit in high school. But I can definitely think of times in high school wherein I totally didn't value the other person or respect the other person because I had all this dumb bullshit that I was going through.
Yes, you angsty fuck.
Yeah, I know. I was all emo, listening to fucking, oh god, what I listened to in high school, like Flowbots.
Oh yeah, you can ride your bike, dude.
Yeah, I can ride my bike, but I would just date people. I'd fall into it because suddenly I became attractive in high school.
Yeah,
and nobody paid attention to me socially my entire life
until
I became a freshman, sophomore, and then I received a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do with
no,
it.
and I really feel that too. I I was like shedding all my baby fat, and like I realized that I wasn't unattractive.
Yeah.
And that for me, I found myself getting taken advantage of by girls, or not even all the girlfriends I had, but like one in particular that I ended up dating for a really long time.
Right.
And it was because I had an idea of what a relationship was by watching my parents and all their bullshit that, they would drag out all these things and they're holding on to shit that's stupid and like resentments and for stuff in the past and stuff that they have really no control over. But regardless, it was like that, just trying so hard to do the best I can, no matter how bad a relationship got. My understanding is that you just keep trying until all your friends are like, dude, she is fucking you up. It's like, yeah, but that's what you do in relationships.
Right, yeah. Naturally, somebody starts to fuck the other person up, and then that just compounds.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're in your 40s, and
I'm bleeding from the ulcers. I'm feeling all the time.
Yeah. And then you have enough responsibility and problems that barely even matters.
Yeah. But then
fucking gold eagle here.
Scrumptious. But then that comes back to coming home. And when you come home to that, you eventually, like, you see in, like, it's the classic, like, well, where's Dad? Dad's not home yet? Oh, well, Dad has to stop and get a beer before he comes home. Because there is no decompression once you get home. Because of all these things that are, you've already let them go too long.
Yes.
And they're too much work to deal with now.
Yeah.
We can't start doing this now because it'll all fall apart.
Yep.
Either you run out of faith in the relationship to fix the things that you let go on for 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And maybe I just need this thing when I get home. Is that so much to fucking ask?
Yeah.
Like my mom and my dad have the best. It's so funny. Like, my mom is so bad at cooking dinner at like at a time, and my dad's like, I don't expect dinner made, but I go to work and I work really fucking hard, and I've been doing it for years.
Does your mom work?
She does. She has work. She does work, but it's like not a set schedule.
Right.
Like, she can get up whenever she wants.
Oh, okay.
She has to feed the horses and stuff. Like, she has a schedule.
Right.
It's just not as like nose to the grindstone. You get up at 6:30 in the morning and you work till 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And you've done that. And that's not even like when it's harvest time and you're working 12-hour days on a salary. You're not getting paid extra. You're just there.
Yeah.
And so there was always like, is it, can't we just have dinner? Like, and just like, please, like, I just want to have dinner.
I get it.
And then he's sitting in the kitchen all pissed off, cooking dinner for us. And it's like, well, you guys just need to fucking hash it out.
Yeah.
Or just, Mom, say you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't feel like he's waiting for something that's not going to happen.
Yes.
Like, to vocalize it. Say, no, I don't want to make dinner. It's not going to happen. Pick up something on the way home or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of making it this big,
right,
and just choking on this, like,
fluffing up and
like trying to make yourself uncomfortable to express this feeling that you can't vocalize anymore. Because if you do, it's going to cause this big fight, and then dinner's at 11:30 at night.
Isn't it bizarre how it can get to that point? Like, I have definitely experienced it, even recently in my life, and I feel like I've come a very long way in terms of my emotional maturity and like understanding of relationships, and still, even just less than a year ago, less than 6 months ago, I fell into this trap that you're talking about, wherein it's like sometimes passive aggression, but just not talking about shit.
Yeah.
And it's so uncomfortable within you that you just don't bring shit up. And it's such an abstract construct when you're not involved in it.
Yeah.
And
No, from the
so
outside,
ridiculous.
from the outside in, you're like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yes. And as soon as you're out of it, we tell ourselves, I'm never gonna fucking fall into something like that again.
Yeah.
But it's so consistent.
Yeah.
It's so hard to avoid. And I wonder if that is avoidable by just opening with this hard line policy of honesty to begin with.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm fucking running right now, but which is hard, especially, it's hard because when you go on that first date, when you're first meeting somebody, you're presenting your best self.
Yeah.
You know, you're putting your best foot forward in all these different ways, which in a way is kind of dishonest. Like
in a sense,
yeah.
I mean, lead with your best foot. You
Right.
know, it's like doing anything. You're dressing up.
Yeah.
You're projecting a version of yourself that is the optimum to be seen.
Yeah, attractive.
And you're the most digestible.
Yes.
Like we were watching Jersey Shore yesterday, and it's so funny.
Hell
'Cause
yeah.
Talk about emotions.
Dude.
But the situation gets a girlfriend.
My man.
And he's known her for 3 summers, and she's been consistently the same. And then he gives her the title of his girlfriend, and all of a sudden she's got raunchy jokes. She's one of the boys, and it makes him extremely uncomfortable because he's like traditional Italian guy, and he's like, it just makes him shut down and uncomfortable because because now she's in a relationship, she can be herself. When in reality, he's like, if you could just smile and keep that to yourself, that'd be great.
Oh, it's so dirty.
And then they break up 10 days later, but that's good. At least there's enough honesty to
get there.
To be like, oh well, you know, I still want to fuck you, so I need to keep up this game even though I'm uncomfortable. And then there's that. It's like, how long have you been single? I need something. And there's that little primal part of your brain that can't go another fucking day alone. Brain. And you get scared. And so you shell up and you swallow that opinion that would make you feel so comfortable to just be like, hey, can we just talk about this difficult thing?
Yeah, that is an underlying fear a lot of the time. And that is just, this could end. But I've even been in situations where I've thought like, God, I wish we would just break up so that I don't have to deal with this. Yeah. Which is so paradoxical. Like, why wouldn't I just say the problem, worst case scenario, we break up, which I wouldn't even mind to begin with.
Because is it maybe because you don't want to be wrong about the thing that bothers you? Are you okay with that thing that bothers you being the reason? You're like
so much confrontation.
Yeah, it's because it's within yourself. Like the other person is just promoting the opposite. You know, like it brings things up in yourself. Like they go, hey, like I don't like this, and you go, well, I love that. Like, well, I don't. How could you not love this? Like, and you're like, okay, that's fine. No, I'll just whatever. And instead of just, I don't know, and then you're planting these little seeds of uncomfort, like discomfort.
Yeah.
And then eventually you hit a point where you go, well, there's all this weight and I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'd rather break up than even think about changing how I do my life.
Oh God, you just let shit boil over. And in some instances, I don't know how relative this is even to me, but just I know people where they let that shit brew and bottle so that they have this ammunition to justify actions later.
Well, that's a toxic relationship.
Exactly.
Dude. definition toxicity.
Yeah, just fucking loading ammo to
Just
kill your spouse.
Just fucking keeping the lid on the rice and the oven is wet. The stovetop is covered in goopy rice sweat.
Oh god, I'm fucking hard right now.
Dude, I'm sorry. Hey man, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, but yes.
No, it's interesting. Like just choosing the uncomfortable path because you don't want to feel something else, whether it be staying or leaving.
Yeah.
I think that's where you get those out of the way young, though.
Yeah,
and the emotional maturity.
I was gonna say that too. Like, thank God to experience that at a young age.
Oh, to not have kids with that person and have that baggage where you can't release it. That's kind of always going to be there.
Yeah, because that's another reality that a lot of people live. We talk about, like even if we just broke up, this would be such an easier scenario.
Yeah.
The relationship's super uncomfortable. Some people decide that the best future for their kids is to stick together no matter what.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, I mean, fuck having some of the honest conversations that you really want or need to, because you could end up like absolutely hating each other, but still.
Well, no, and that's like my parents, my mom and dad know that they're each other's rock and they love each other, but they are the complete opposite end of the spectrum personality types, and they clash a lot. And growing up in that, and I always like, oh, you're so lucky you have two parents that love each other and they're always there, and it's like, yeah, they do, and I appreciate it, but it's not all fucking peaches and cream either. Yeah. Like there's detriments to any life. Like there's not, just because you have both doesn't make it any easier on you, because when you're trapped with your parents screaming at each other because of some thing that and it's usually the same thing, and it's like fuck, and
it's exhausting.
And just like in watching when I left home at 22 and my brother stayed when he's 8 years younger than me, and he's stuck in it, and now there's no safety blanket, and it just hits him right in his heart. And I have to step in. He comes to me, fuck, I can't take another second of this. Like, it's not okay. And I have to come in and step in and say, parents, fucking take a drive. You're locking somebody with your bullshit. Go to fucking therapy. This is, you've subjected a person in their like most hormonal time, like sophomore in high school, and your parents are always fighting. School sucks. You got girlfriends that suck. You have girlfriends even if they don't suck. You want to uphold because you want to be the best you can. Like, and so you're like doubting yourself, and there's all these this swirling vortex, and then
evil soup of hormones,
evil soup,
chemicals, everything in the world is embarrassing. Oh God, what a trying time. Those years, and to have that tacked on top of it.
But it's good though when I did come in and I don't get aggressive. I'm not somebody who's an aggro personality type, or even to defend myself. I'm just like, whatever, like, I'll just not talk to you anymore. Like, I can avoid you, but when it's all that so close and I have all the ammunition, and that's the whole thing. It's like, you don't know that I've been compiling ammunition since I've met you. For everybody I meet. And I tell people, you're never going to know if I don't like you. Right. And it makes people uncomfortable, or they forget. And then when it comes time for me to be like, hey, you're fucking up, and here's this list. Here's a receipt. Cash that in. And I step in and tell my parents, hey, fuck you. You need to change this. And I give them concrete. They can't refute what's happening. They did something about it because I made them feel bad enough. I hit them where it hurts. And you go, okay, now it's time to fucking put this aside long enough to be in a private space to deal with it. The trickle down. Or like, when you're with your friends and you're homie with a girlfriend, or vice versa, you're homie with a boyfriend, they get in a fight and you're all out at dinner. And they're just fucking ripping each other to shit in front of everyone. And do you guys want to go? No, it's fine. We just need to get this out of the way. It's like, well, no one wants to deal with that now.
Yeah. Do not sacrifice other people's comfort.
Yeah. or to make it about to like, well, look, you see how he treats me. You gotta
get other people involved.
You gotta have a witness. Which, I mean, sometimes it kind of is a good thing if it's bad.
There is the spectrum of that for sure.
Yeah, like, there is a spectrum.
If it gets on the rat, if there's just straight up abuse, you do want some kind of witness to that. But I do think that just pulling people into. I've always been somebody like I don't like to kiss and tell. I don't really like to air my dirty laundry personally. Just with my friends, I prefer that my relationship with someone
is your own.
Yeah, is our relationship, and if you feel like there's some kind of issue wherein you need to go to your friends and vent about me or just whoever, then I should be that person. And there's so many people like that. I have many friends that talk to me about
other people.
Relationship issues that they're encountering.
Yeah.
You have the ability. Oh, well, some of us don't because there's work. There's any fucking removal of not privileges, but anytime that I have to say, well, some people, it's always because fucking rent's due. Always.
Yeah, you can't just. Yeah, you can't piss them off because you need them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's always that area. Like people don't have people do not have absolute freedom because eventually rent is due.
Well, but at the same time,
no.
Quail. Todd killed 4 quail.
Oh my God. You said my name.
Oh no!
That's okay. We can bleep it out.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I feel like I can bitch about whatever I need to bitch about to whoever because I have trust that my friends aren't going to say. They aren't going to relay it in a way that if they don't understand, or if they see that person, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, Mitchell said a bunch of shit about you.
Oh, God.
Because what I'm trying to do is usually work it out beforehand because
you do have to mold that shit. You can't just fire from the hip as soon as emotions hit you. You need to
you got to temper that into something the other person can use.
And I'm not going to pretend that people should need to just be able to do that independently. You need fucking reaching out for others to help you work through emotions so that you can execute it, so that we can pull the trigger when we need to, and
not
know exactly
fucking kill the person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's important, and I think that most people can't just have this inner monologue and come to the best, most efficient way to convey exactly what they need to say without somebody else.
No, it's definitely because I like being somebody that can say the right thing and actually change your mind. I don't like being, well, fuck you, because you, and just let it take me over.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, you're on the floor and I fucking gave you a black eye.
Just slugged.
And I've seen those people. I've seen those people that are just a victim to themselves. And they wake up in the drunk tank because they can't they can't deal with it.
What a terrible place. What a terrible fucking person to be. A terrible shell to wear.
I mean, but if you can, I think a lot of that though is holding it in to the point where it comes out in a way that is just volatile.
Yeah.
It's 3 years of not dealing with it, and then you just black out, and you have no control anymore.
Yeah.
And losing control is, from being schizophrenic in my teen years, losing control is something I have a really hard time with, and I think that's why I like to be a host. I like to have a scragum of control over the situation.
I see.
just so if anything bad happens, I'd rather be the one dealing with a shitty thing than it be someone else who might use it incorrectly.
Yeah. You don't want to be like victim to a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can happen like that.
Yeah.
And
seriously, somebody that you really like are impressed with or care about can just turn into something awful.
Yeah, and
I have
go.
to pee. Do you have to pee?
I don't have to pee, but you can pee.
Oh, I have to pee.
Find pee hole.
Pee hole located.
I've located the pee hole.
Located the pee hole. No, don't send it.
Tribal elders dug pee holes.
Hopland is beautiful today.
It is.
Fantastic vibes brought to you by Mendocino County.
Yes, indeed.
Please let me in. You know what I'd love to do? I would love to get to the point wherein we have like a vehicle that is clearly marked and it like carries the color palette that we use for this show and it has the logo on the side of it or something.
That'd be cool.
That would be so cool. And then if we take some like longer trips,
it's like the equivalent of the Google car. You're like, whoa,
like, whoa, what is that?
That's the Nitro Ride mobile.
Yeah, I would fucking.
We're like the Oscar Mayer Wiener of Mendocino County.
Yeah. It's a shame that Mendocino County doesn't already have an Oscar Mayer Wiener.
I know, right?
Ooh, that was a good sound. Gruffy. I know a lot of people that.
Whoa,
exactly
it's Mark.
Like that.
It's that's one of Casey's friends. I just saw Casey's face on a T-shirt.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You can park right here.
I think they won't catch you if you pee.
I'm gonna pee.
Probably have to buy something though.
Do you want to pee with me?
I don't.
I thought you were my friend.
Dude, there's no time for friendship.
Oh.
Definitely turn this AC on. It is.
Oh, is it steamy in here?
It's ball soup.
That's my second favorite kind of soup.
Yes, that's my other podcast.
Who do you run that one with?
Oh, just me. me and the boys.
Just you and the
Ooh.
Just you and the boys? You have other boys?
Yeah, my boys, my balls.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they were in this podcast too.
They are. They come. They definitely are good boys. I have no intention of them never being. They're always going to be in the podcast.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I hope so.
Oh.
Did you talk at all while I was?
A little bit,
okay.
But nothing substantial.
Okay. I love the power of editing. You can
Yes.
just fucking take and shit and pull it away. But coming home. We spend such a large percentage of our time coming home.
Yes.
Like, I feel like the average amount of time coming in through the door and doing that very fast, not decompression, but like settle, you know, you put your keys away, your wallet, your phone.
The routine.
Yeah, take a shower if you work a job wherein you need to take a shower right after work. Whatever. I would say on average it takes at least, and this is being a little like liberal with it, I would say that it takes at least, or maybe conservative, being a little more conservative, I would say it takes at least like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. If that can be quick.
Yeah, that's a fucking quick.
At least.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you come home every day.
Yeah.
There are a couple of days where you don't leave the house, but you do that. I just say once a day, every day a week
For the whole life.
Yeah, for all of your life. I mean, it's already 70 minutes a week, which is more than an hour.
Yeah.
That means it's 4 hours a month, which means it's 40. That's 2 days. 2 days a year, just coming in to your house.
Yeah.
And you can do that wrong. Like you can come in if you're coming home to somebody that doesn't really want to see you right then.
Yeah.
And I was listening to something today that was talking about that's why we have dogs, is because they get coming home right at 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Like that is such a large part of having a dog.
Yeah.
Is you coming home and them loving you unconditionally immediately.
See, and then this to me is why I have issues with other people's shitty animals in my space.
Oh, God.
And when it's somebody else's pet that they haven't taken the time to train, so they don't respect me coming home.
Right.
Like, to the point where it's like, I come home, they're gone, their dog is loose, it's shit everywhere. It's ripped up the couch. It's attacked my other animals.
Yeah.
Squirrel!
Oh, he's just standing. What are you doing, dude?
Vibing.
Yeah, just basking in the sunlight.
Talk about emotion.
Oh my God, he was enraptured just now.
Oh. To be a ground squirrel in California. Oh, but yeah. So, if you get cubs, I feel like or whoever you live with comes home, and that disrupts your being home.
Oh, God.
And so you need to figure out how to synergize with that, but it can be impossible.
If you are in a relationship right now where you are not excited about who you are with coming home, you need to fucking break up.
Yeah, or talk about it.
Or serious, or put the work in.
Yeah.
And I realize I bring up just breaking up as a solution a lot of the time. And, that's, I guess.
Well, it is.
Yeah, it is a potential solution for sure. But I feel like that's probably just relative to my experience more than anything else.
I feel like if you can't come home and explain to the person why you need that time for yourself, and they disregard you, then break up.
Yes.
If you're not being not being respected or heard, then that's the whole reason to be in a relationship, is like you can be understood. If you're just dating, oh man, nothing worse than like the loser boyfriend that just like fucks you good, but he just does nothing.
Oh God.
And he's just sitting there fucking farting and taking up couch space.
I, Coyote, have been that person. And that is like what I look back on with some of the most disdain.
Yeah.
I look back on that as
like,
one
what
of
the
the
fuck
lowest,
was that?
yeah, one of the lowest people I have ever been.
Yeah.
Because I also now have a very high respect for proper work ethic, and I went through this gnarly transition wherein I had zero aspirations or goals. I was working towards nothing.
Yeah.
That was somebody I used to be, and then I found this beautiful life in wildlife conservation and management, and now I'm a completely different person.
Totally.
But God, looking back, I was literally that. I was getting $1,000 a month. I don't remember exactly how this worked, but I think I was getting $1,000 a month because my dad wasn't involved in my life, and I was gonna get it until I was like 19 or something like that. And I would just use that. I used that to pay the rent while I was in a different state, and I had an apartment, and I was supposed to be going to school. I was supposed to be finishing my senior year.
But you weren't.
And I fucking wasn't, just not going to school. Like, oh, what a fucking piece of shit I was.
Well,
man.
you just don't know better. You're given a thing, and they expect you to do the right thing with it with no fucking guidelines. There's, you should be. Okay, well, fuck you. I should be cleaning my room, Mom. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It's just this empty fucking word if you don't have a proper example or role model, and that's like, especially an adopted role model rather than one that you are born with, that you come equipped with. That's a given, because you can have very supportive parents that are also very successful, and that's an excellent role model. But the importance of one that's adopted is that they have a power that is hard to compare to anything else because you chose them, and usually because they're super good in some field that you want to be really good in, or
it's a squire knight relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you don't have that, you can be so lost, and it's very difficult to have that without having a passion, because then you don't even have a field for somebody to slot that position
totally
to begin with.
And there's such a pull when you think you found the role model for you, and then you realize that role model is just some out of work actor that's vicariously like using your youth to feel good, and you're not
destroy you,
and it ultimately will destroy you, because but it'll make you stronger in the sense of, you go, wow, okay, I need to pick better friends, I need to pick better teachers, I need to make sure that this person has merit. And it's hard to do that on the first try. You're lucky to get that on the first try.
You definitely grow through what you go through.
Yes.
And I was pretty lucky to be exposed to the role models that I was when I fell into conservation.
Totally.
But God, some people never ever find that.
Oh, or they do, and they disregard it because it's uncomfortable. The feeling, it just it overrides everything. You go, okay, well, I'll just do that later. You just keep flipping the hourglass over until you can't.
Yeah.
Okay, no, later. It's uncomfy. It's uncomfortable. I can't deal with this.
It really is never too late until it is.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking God. You can apply that to every
anything
aspect of your life. That's a call to action.
That's just being a three-dimensional being.
Yeah. Oh God. And the hazards that accompany it.
Yep. You got to do something.
Yeah, you have to. And just if you're somebody that is unfortunate enough to not have found your passion, something that is really always sitting in the back of your mind in some
just
way.
Makes you nut.
Yeah, just and I have described it before as like a filter that comes over you. So mine is like falling trees, for example. Now, when walking through the woods or whatever, it's kind of an automatic response, just looking at trees and seeing.
You have the lens.
Yes, it's a lens, and I feel like that is synonymous with passion. And what do you think about that? Because you are a fucking incredible artist, and do you think that, is that always with you?
The first time I did a painting class. My parents paid for me to have a painting class, and it's by this I learned a bunch of shit in the 3 months I did this painting class 2 days a week. One of which was that speed is relative, because this 90-year-old woman missing a finger could paint a portrait of anybody in the classroom in an hour.
Really?
To the finest detail. And mixing color. You think it's easy to get purple, but it's fucking hard. If you look at that, you think I can just make that purple right there? No.
So pretty purple.
It's so pretty purple.
So pretty purple.
And so I learned from her that speed is relative, and then also she taught me color theory in a way that for some reason it just clicked, because I understand colors. Like, I get that there's like contrasting colors and tertiary colors and all these different things. But in mixing the colors and seeing how you acquire them really showed me that, like, in nature, that's happening all the time. Like, you see that there's all these purple flowers, and then there's the yellow flowers. Well, that is on the opposite end of the spectrum from purple. And so any bug with whatever they use to pick up light, and maybe they can't see purple, but they can see yellow, and they come to the flower that's next to that. Or like these ones are cream and purple. Those are those contrast. And so if it can't see one, it'll see the other. And in nature, the plant realizes that, and so it over fucking evolving, it produces either two different flower colors or one flower that's both colors, and it intermittently runs it through the entire field. And so it's being utilized by whatever animal it needs. It's crazy. Like, there's so many underlying things that the natural world is doing to utilize color theory. Bird plumage, like all kinds of like crazy refraction techniques that are being cultivated by animals, and you go, oh yeah, birds are pretty, but like, but
why are birds?
But why are birds pretty? And the feeling I get now when I look at just things, because I am very good at doing nothing, or at least to myself I think of it as doing nothing, but I like being at peace and just thinking about stuff. And that to me will
like taking in my
surroundings and like breaking things down, and it just adds another that lens gives me such like a better understanding. Like when you go through the forest and you, okay, that tree's dangerous. This tree, if I just take this limb off, it's going to be so much healthier. We're going to, okay, if we just take out this invasive species, this whole hillside will be way more secure. Like, and you know how to do that now. And it gives everything so much more.
Yeah, to have, I mean, in any kind of filter that you can tack onto your life, and you can probably take them all in, just if you're ambitious enough, you know. You could, if you are fucking just become an absolute Renaissance person and just partake,
embrace the bohemian lifestyle.
Yes, if you partake in just art and the chaos of nature or sociology or whatever the fuck that you decide to take interest in, you can have a much larger appreciation for life. And that seems so obvious, but you just become you're never bored again if you get to that point. If you just dive headlong into everything, which is completely possible thanks to the internet. You can learn absolutely anything about anything. And then if you're plopped in the middle of any kind of situation, whether it's the center of a town that is filled with people and different aspects of architecture, or the polar opposite, a very rural community with hills and trees, or nothing, a fucking desert town. Yeah, exactly. A high valley desert. There's a bunch to appreciate there as well.
You just got to know that it's worth appreciating, and that's where a lot of right now in our society, there's a lot of disregarding elders. People that will give you their take on a thing when I can just Google it. Fuck you, old man, you don't know. You do know, because that's the perspective of a person giving it to you. And you can, like, if whenever you hear someone talking about something that just makes them go dumb, they just love it so much, and then they share that with you.
That's the best.
It's the best feeling.
That is the best feeling.
You go, wow, like, thank you for sharing your appreciative view.
Yes.
Because now that might mean something to me. Or it might make me just think of you.
Yeah.
And how you feel.
Some kind of seed.
Yeah. Instead of being like, the bird has 142 feathers and the wind resistance is...
This bird weighs approximately 7.2 pounds. Probably a lot less than that. Birds are fucking light.
That's like half an eagle.
Oh God, eagles.
It's like putting a name to the fate, like just being less numbers. Everybody's got to be right. I got to know the perfect thing. And this is.
I don't like speaking in definitives. Like that trips me up a lot, because a lot of people. I've been working through this all day. So a great way to impact people and to convince them of a new truth, or just to get their mind to think about something in a new way, or just a new something, is to speak in definitives. Like, operate with a lot of confidence and say things as if they are truth, as if
you know who concrete. Does? You know who's the king of that?
Who's that?
Is Caleb.
Oh, is
Morelli,
he?
Dude. He'll fucking. I call it Morelliing.
Morelliing.
Because he'll be like, oh yeah, like sloths have 8 fingers. And I'll be like, oh, all right, like I didn't know that. And I'll be like, you fuck it, what did? but he definitely commands you with being like, it makes you engage. You go, whoa, okay, like you got some weird facts. I like your weird facts.
There's 2 aspects to it. So there's that the very, like, you know. I mean, real base. You can look that up, and there it is. There's the answer right there. But there's also the speaking of abstract concepts in definitives. Like, this is how you should feel when this happens to you. Or this is how you should respond. Or the reason why somebody feels this is because this way. And
the radio's on.
Oh God. We're gonna get fucking demonetized.
Good.
It's okay. I don't want to make any money. I bet it's quiet enough that it didn't get picked up.
Well, that's good.
But I get anywhere from it's sometimes very frustrating for me. Like, how are you so certain that this is the way? And it's just
it's like I've been saying. There's 8 billion ways and counting to be a person. You think you're right?
Exactly.
You think this is the only way?
Mm-hmm. How to interact with other people, how to prioritize different aspects of life. So many people. So the best advice I've ever heard for like operating a chainsaw, which is a big part of my life.
That's the extension of yourself right there.
Exactly. Is just keep running that saw, because everyone in my line of work has picked up a chainsaw and used it, so they have some kind of fucking grand advice or criticism of how you're running it. But just keep running that saw, because the golden pieces of advice will stick with you, and you will take your own independent route. And that's the only way to live. And you find your mentors, of course, in whatever. I mean, just mentors in general, teachers. From everything that's from the very broad to here's how life works, and here's how people treat you, and here's how you should treat people, to the very specific, to the more esoteric.
Yeah.
This is how you, I don't know, fucking hammer a nail or whatever.
Yeah.
Find those people, but at the same time, kill your idols. Like, don't
worship shit.
Yeah, don't worship anything. You're setting yourself up for a fall. We are setting ourselves up for a fall when we do that. I'm trying not to be all you, because that's anyway.
Don't bring this on me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you're trying to do to me right now.
We set ourselves up for a fall when we do that, because what happens when that idol can't live up to the expectation that we've set for them?
Yeah.
And B, you can miss out on new or different approaches and avenues, because we are glued to this one mentor and their way of teaching.
That's my difference between guidelines and what the hell was
Rules?
it? No, it's guidelines, and it's like using an ideology. Like, there's one way. We're gonna be Catholic, and this is the only way if you want to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And then there's that might be true. Let me look at this for a while. Okay, what's it all about? Okay, this is the best parts, and I don't need to follow this anymore. What's over here? Oh, there's working at the farmer's market for a year. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try that. And no, I learned about Buddhism and stuff. Oh, well, and let's try that. And you use the guidelines and whatever. I can't remember what it was. We were talking about it before.
No, I remember.
But you don't have to. But you need the person who's setting those guidelines. Like, you need the pure concentration path. You need people to do that, because they're upholding the core belief system of that operating system. And without them, it all falls apart. Like, you need priests and monks and fucking D&D nerds.
Yeah,
and
you need teachers.
You need absolutes.
Yes.
So that you can go, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, without that, everything is far too subjective.
You need a gray area and black and white. Because eventually, you can choose to be gray forever, and I probably will.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that anyone knows anything that to an absolute.
Yeah.
But I like the people that believe they do.
Yeah.
Because maybe they do.
Yeah, we need to be exposed to that, because it helps form different barometers in some kind of way. Like, I really don't mind people screaming that racism or murder is bad, because you need these people that can speak in definitives, can decide to present
to
things
go
as objective truth, to go there. And because without that, you're just fucking floating. I mean, no decision is ever made.
Well, it becomes tangible. because everything else is just a thought, and that's like most thoughts are just all air, and you can't do anything with it. It's just an idea.
Yeah.
You need people who are gonna take that and fucking run with it and fucking drag it out of the air and make it into something.
Yeah.
And that's important. Or else nothing. If there were 1 million people, or everyone was like me, there'd be nothing getting done. I like to think about it. I don't like doing it necessarily. Like, it takes a lot to get me to commit to a thing. But once I commit to it, you better believe it's going to get done.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to do it well because I believe in it. Well, and that goes when people are like, oh man, I just can't. I think I might commit suicide. I can't do this anymore. Oh, okay, then go for it. But just do everything you can first. Have you lived in the same small shitty town your whole life? And there's no. How many viewpoints have you ingested? Are you just stuck in a rut? Have you just milked all the color out of this view?
Yeah.
Or what? Like, just, I'm not going to stop you because that is your decision. That's
it's the decision.
It's the decision. That is the decision.
Yeah. If there's one thing that you should always have, it is the choice to fucking kill yourself.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing people can't take away from you. And to try to convince someone that they don't have the one power that they're guaranteed to have can be kind of fucking demeaning. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, I can't even do that. I can't even fucking do that.
Exactly.
Not to encourage that kind of behavior at all. I love that view. I love, like, okay, well, you know what? If that's your decision.
Well, if you're miserable living.
Yeah.
If there's no light and you're just not gonna choose to, you're not gonna work to find it. Or just so much has happened and there's no turning it around for you. Like, I get it. Like, but just know there is more. Yeah. There's so much happening. Yeah. Everything is happening right now. There is so much everything. Just think everything is happening right now. Yeah. Or everything, just the fucking amount of things moving around right now. Yeah. Just is, and that's why I have a hard time being in cities. And I'll stand on a busy street and like get overwhelmed with the amount of everything. Yeah. And it just makes me realize, okay, there's trees are making air. Fucking there's millions of creatures, billions of creatures in the ocean. There's all these people just going to get cappuccinos.
You definitely are reminded of how much life there is when you are surrounded by people in a large city. And there's fucking signs and everything's trying to grab your attention. There's people inside of windows doing things. Yeah. Everybody has their own agenda.
There's a little girl's ice cream just fell on the ground.
Yeah, that one event can be worthy of attention, and there is a million more going on around you in every direction. Yeah. And it can, I mean, if you are in a place where you're able to consider that, maybe, hopefully, killing yourself doesn't sound so
necessary.
So necessary. Doesn't sound like the best choice, you know?
Well, and I know people that have attempted to kill themselves and attempted to kill themselves and attempted to kill themselves, and it just doesn't work. Yeah. And they look back at that time and go, well, I'm glad it didn't happen because now I'm happy. Yeah. And it just took living. Yeah. And a lot of the time, and that's the hardest. Living is hard. And dealing with the emotions of everything that happens. I mean, and that's really the reason, either the lack thereof emotion is a huge issue. You know, I can't feel, and I've fallen into not being able to feel, and you're just in the void, and eventually something comes into the void. But I think it's good to experience that nothingness because because it's like when you're tripping out on acid and the sun comes up and you see the light hit something and everything looks so colorless. And then the first ray of light hits a tree branch or a leaf and it just explodes with color and you go, wow, it was right there. And it's just the stimulus was wrong. Yes. And not to say you have to be on acid to do that. It's still pretty when the sun comes up. Yeah. Acid helps though. Oh, acid does help though. Acid helps though.
Acid helps though.
if you have the mental constitution to
if you can get into that without having a fucking psychotic break.
Yeah, or if you can acquire acid that isn't bad,
That's
you know,
too.
if you can trust it, or you're not doing it at a party where you're gonna
with a bunch of fucking people you don't know,
bunch of strangers.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And they're all sober. I mean, compared to you. At
least. Yeah.
God. Yeah, it sounds like hell.
Sounds like it is. And it sometimes it is when you're sober at a party and you go, wow, I was looking for a good time and now I feel even worse.
Yeah.
And I just feel worse. And I came to have maybe a conversation or something to grasp. Something you open up your void and try to let something come in and nothing comes in.
That can push you so much further over the edge when you're already just so blank. Your life is so monotonous and you're just trapped in some kind of schedule or pattern without the necessary light in your life, and then you decide to open yourself to some kind of new experience, and it's just as fucking dark as the rest of it.
Yeah. No, it really dude, it's crippling.
Yeah.
Because then you go, all right, well, there really is nothing out here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And all of my fucking negative thoughts and disappointments are confirmed. Yeah. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah, it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
And that is the worst thing.
Yeah.
To think that it's the same everywhere.
Ugh.
It just hurts, man. It's such to feel that hollowness and carry it around, but at the same time no one can see it because you're so good at hiding it. And so no one even asks you.
Yeah.
And even if they did, you'd be, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, everything, working hard, hardly working. Yeah. It's all those impromptu things you say quickly.
Yeah.
Because surface level is you don't trouble people with your problems when you pass them on the street.
Yeah.
There's that Rick and Morty planet where it's all the women with the hands coming out of their heads. And I'm here for you, and if you ever need to talk, and that's how they greet each other.
Oh.
I'm here for you if you need to talk. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm here for you if you need to talk. Because that is more of like, and to be a dude too, I think is hard because you're not supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to pull yourself up and just swallow it.
That is weirdly still true.
And that's like where I say to women who are like, it's a man's world and it fucking sucks. And I'm like, yes, it does. And I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I don't like that boys have to fucking be that way, or that like the elder men don't want to fucking talk about emotions, or like even talking about like, oh man, like my wife had her period. Ew. Yuck. Fuck that. Ew. Why are we talking about this? Don't talk about that. That's fucking disgusting. It's like, dude, what?
It is fucking, the current social climate, and fucking every climate, cultural, social, political, is detrimental for every sex. For both sexes, every gender, both sexes though, and it's not helping anyone.
No, it really doesn't. But I mean, it's good to see that there's resistance to the thought that is the way to exist. Like I like the push on, because the world was conquered by men that wanted to fight and fucking and be dominant. It's just domineering male energy, and everything else that couldn't keep up got fucking pushed down and tilled under. And emotions really got sucked up into that too. I mean, even like they have to, because you can't get shit done when you're worried about what fucking everybody else is feeling.
When you just devote all of your time to being vulnerable and talking about everything that's happening to you, it's a lot less time that you can devote towards making decisions. And I'm all for expressing what the fuck you're going through, but I mean, you can't do it all the time. You can't fucking do it all the time.
Well, there's time and a place. Because there's nothing worse than that dude when you're at work and he's I just don't know what to do, man. It's like, dude, you should have called out today. That's what you should have done. So you could go home and process this. Instead of bringing it here and now no one's working and we're all trying to console you and like, And I would love to live in a society where, like, we could all put aside what needs to, like the essential, because you as an individual should be essential.
Yeah.
Like, that's the idealistic side of me that's like, yeah,
right,
there's room for everyone and their emotions, but some people's emotions are fucking bullshit because it's acting from an immature state.
Yeah, I agree. Not everybody fucking, I'm not sorry. Not everybody needs a fucking, not everybody deserves a fucking pedestal. Like,
yeah.
I fall into that fucking hole a lot with people that speak in definitives.
Yeah.
Like, who do you fucking think you are? You are not educated enough to fucking preach like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's fucking, it's so annoying.
It is.
Because you can't just be like, fucking shut up! You can't scream that at these people, especially if they are somebody that's, you know, marginalized and oppressed, that are finally finding a voice.
Yeah.
But just because not everybody, I'm sorry, but not everybody deserves to have their opinion shouted from the top of a fucking mountain.
No, because you put something on a pedestal so high that you get vertigo. You know, it's like, whoa, I'm up here with all my opinions, and and they sound appealing to a bunch of people. Then you have a bunch of people who are like, you're zealots of a bad opinion.
Right, and that's how you form this fucking echo chamber.
Yeah. And everyone just it's just a fucking the sound of one hand clapping for eternity.
And it needs to be a conversation, and that can be the threat of a pedestal. That be, like, if anybody becomes convinced that their opinion is valid enough or is relatable enough to fight for, to be presented to hundreds of people, then you separate yourself from the rest of us, you know, and everything needs to be a conversation, because every solution is always going to be a compromise in terms of following what's morally or sociologically best.
Well, and that's the hard part about when I was talking about earlier of, like, you have the guidelines and then you have the path, you know, you have the people on the path. That's what it was.
Yeah, path.
And you have the people who've done the path, who set the guidelines, and you can't argue with them.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's got that religious aunt or uncle at Thanksgiving who's like, well, you know, we wouldn't be doing this because this isn't the Mormon way. Why are we celebrating Thanksgiving? And it's like, okay, bud.
Yeah.
But
fucking for real.
No, it's just silly. But you have to have those conversations, even if people. But if they're not willing to be open to it, then it's the sound of one hand clapping, because then you're just that hand.
Yes.
Even if it is a neutral stance you've taken, because you're just trying to illuminate, but you're really just making them shell up harder. Because they're married to the idea. Yeah. And you can't tell your wife she's ugly. Yeah. Maybe I love you, but goddamn.
Sometimes you just roll over in bed at night and be like, damn, you know what? She kind of ugly. We're all kind of fucking ugly.
Well, and if you do that, then you have to wrestle with the doubt. Like, well, can I still get hard and fuck my wife? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can, you know, why can't I eat pork?
Yeah.
You know, like, is it really that, like, it's a pig.
Like, I've always been confused. I'm sure there's just a bunch of shit that I don't even know about it, but I've always been confused about not being able to eat certain kinds of pork or certain kinds of meat. Yeah. I mean, but that's coming from just a fucking...
You know what? Now I have to pee.
Do you have to pee now?
Yeah. Pee now. I pee now.
Let me take you in.
Take me in. Let me pee.
I kind of have to pee too.
Dude, there we go.
We can fucking pause this.
Dude, we can share the bowl.
Oh, dude.
Istanbul.
Threaten me with a good time. Oh! But here's some fucking irony for you. Here I am talking about how not everybody's opinion deserves to be presented and shouted from the top of a mountain, but what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, you know?
Yeah, we have a lot of things that are important. We have PhDs.
Yeah, that's true. We're
doctors.
Incredibly fucking educated. old coyote.
Old coyote.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, fucking who knows, man? I'm gonna feel entirely different in tomorrow. Tomorrow. A lot of my opinions will shift and change constantly, and that is a much better place to be if you're presenting your opinion, because you can acknowledge and recognize that it's going to change, and that's the benefit of not speaking in definitives, is that
you don't pigeonhole yourself.
Exactly, not tied to anything. I feel like everybody should feel comfortable sharing. Just sharing. Everybody should feel comfortable sharing, so long as they acknowledge that, not speaking in fact. We're not
trying to do anything to harm you.
Yes.
We're just thinking about stuff.
Yeah, just shooting it out, and just don't pigeonhole yourself into a single ideology, because you can become so broken up if you ever find out that it's wrong, and it can affect other people in a negative way if they have a dissenting opinion or perspective. And that's what I'm focused on, is that how can we be certain that what we claim to know is truth? And how can we be so boisterous about it? I know people that are convinced that their opinion, that their perspective is truth.
I think fear is a huge motivator from that, because either you need, I don't know, Jesus or whatever to save you because you done fucked up. But if you love this thing, you have a get out of jail free card. So, and even if you are already damned and there's no saving you, you can at least get on the train, have kids, and shepherd them. And there's only one way, because I didn't do it that way. Since I started living my life for the Lord, I can't tell you how much better I feel. And you know what, son? I know it's hard right now because it might not make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But if you just follow this path, I guarantee you, you will see results in your life, and you will feel better.
That can be coming from such a positive place.
Oh, and it does.
Somebody who fucking had the absolute worst go of it, got dealt a terrible fucking hand, and on top of that made poor decisions. And then they find a new avenue that gives them the proper perspective, or a more in tune and objective moral barometer, and they start treating everyone in their lives, including themselves, much better.
Yeah.
Of course you would want to promote the shit out of that.
Until
it improves the living hell out of your life.
Exactly. Well, it gives you a moral compass.
Yeah, exactly.
But does that matter if your kid's getting molested by the priest?
Well, fucking no. Definitely not.
And that's just the... But that's where there's always darkness. And if you think that a thought process is going to save you, or is going to negate the darkness, parasites find how to live in any climate.
Yes.
And that's
this
like,
is a great point.
You need to be wary of danger.
Yeah.
Because parasites not only will suck you dry, they will also never give themselves away.
And this is the danger of not preemptively stating that you need to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, right? Because everybody's experience is going to be so much different. And on top of that, what has saved my life can ruin yours.
Just gonna park?
But let's fucking, we can send it. Let's send it a little bit.
Let's just send it a little bit.
Just send it.
Without the rev of an engine, is this even Nitro Ride?
I know. It's, oh man, what a beautiful little fucking, what a beautiful little vibe it is.
It is. Yeah. It's a fun vibe.
Yeah. But of course, always, more than anything else, and I'm sure we want to be more inclusive than exclusive.
Oh, dude, you know? I'll listen to anybody's opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna promote counter arguments.
We all need to be able to have conversation.
Yeah.
And it's such a divisive climate right now, like politically and otherwise.
Oh, from your skin, gender, religion, whatever.
It is.
People are gonna try and peg you down.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is because they're unhappy and need a way to to get a reaction.
And
it's like a mean kid. It's like, yeah, I want attention, but I don't know how to ask for it because I didn't learn. And so I have to beat the shit out of you because that's the only way I know how to be close to you.
Yeah, and it's on every side of the fence. People that consider themselves to be more welcoming and forgiving can still totally push aside people that have a different perspective or viewpoint than them. And that's how almost everyone is. If somebody has any kind of, serious
he's the best guy, but you know what? He eats dogs. Give you the shirt off his back, and he has a lot of dogs, but doesn't mean he's not going to eat them.
He treats the dogs really well, but you know what? He fucking eats dogs. Everybody is at least a little bit convinced that they are somebody who is forgiving. Even if you are someone who holds grudges, we all think that we're on the right side of things, and the only way to actually be on the right side of things is to be able to have conversations like this. Don't just shun people that have what you believe to be immoral values, because otherwise they'll never be able to change. Because I'm sure that's how most people
and then you shame them for it.
Exactly.
They live in a place of shame
and that
forever.
Can so just deepen
it will.
That perspective. Like it you gotta fucking, regardless of what it is, like I don't fucking support Trump. This is the most obvious example of what I'm talking about. Is people who supported Trump and who didn't support Trump. Right? I mean, I guess you can still support Trump, but regardless, people who voted for Trump, people who didn't vote for Trump, it's fucking polarizing. And rather than saying, get the fuck off my timeline because you voted for Trump, have a fucking conversation with them. How can that be viewed as bad? Like, if you think that Trump is racist and misogynistic and all of these negative words, you're welcome to think that. But how can you automatically shut somebody else out and still feel like you have the higher moral standing?
La 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 la, I can't hear you. La 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 la. Nope, my emotions are fragile. I can't let that, because if you let it in, it might get destroyed. And if you love it, you can't let any harm come to it because you married it. It's your wife now. And you have to protect it.
Way too tied to this ideology. And that's the problem.
It's one orange man.
It is one orange man. Do not let it be this fucking
demigod.
That's just completely it separates your river into separate streams.
Exactly.
You gotta let shit flow.
Well, and it's and even if it is don't see that the person that is stuck in that is stuck on it. And you can just there's subliminal things you can do to help a person be less married to an idea. And one of them is be friends with them anyway. Continue conversating.
Just that. It doesn't. Not every conversation needs to be about your political alignment.
Exactly.
If it's separate, just continue to be friends with them naturally. If you're just inclusive, if you fucking welcome people into your home, it's always going to be received properly. And I feel like that's the best thing for somebody that has an opposite opinion of you. If you welcome them and love them and accept them, and you lead with that, that is going to be what changes people's mind. Hate only ever further ingrains.
It's a snake eating its own tail kind of thing.
Man. It's this self-defeating prophecy, treating others with hate. You're just going
because you misunderstand hate as power, and you use it as a weapon. And you don't need to do that. And I think that's where the whole polarization really is coming from, with the anonymity of the internet. And we're just to me, I feel like the internet is a great reference. Like the Tower of Babel is a great reference tool to the internet. And I know the Tower of Babel isn't real, or it's not. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. But biblically, it's a biblical thing. But it just allows everyone to communicate. and why would that ever be bad?
Yeah.
But there it is, getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And we see right now that that's what we're dealing with, is that being so connected is a lot for what we are in evolutionary sake, because we're not it's just that our emotions get in the way of this raw data.
Yeah, when we have the capability of just throwing whatever is immediately at the front of our minds into an arena where it can be exposed to thousands of people, and with no recourse, what's to prevent us from doing that?
Exactly.
You know, and what's to prevent a million uncultivated thoughts, unnurtured, unworkshopped thoughts to just be blasted into this fucking atmosphere, to be breathed in by anybody that has an internet connection.
Especially when the evolutionary state of where we are is the tribal elder goes, no, that is unwise.
Yeah, we were fucking talking about that earlier.
And gives you a reason why that isn't good.
Yeah.
From his perspective of living a whole life. And you might go, well, you know what, I still disagree.
Yeah.
And you go form your own tribe, and then you're at war.
Huh.
You know, and it's the same thing, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah, that's the most common response to any kind of authority is not dissent, but rebellion.
Yeah, rebellion.
It's the most common, especially when we're younger and we're full of fucking hormones.
Oh yeah, when you're clouded.
Yeah.
When you're trying to figure out what the universe is, or what the reality is.
Yeah. And
it's too big for this one idea.
Yeah.
You're all, fuck you, old man.
Yeah. What the fuck do you know?
I have a bronze spear.
Yeah. You came from a fucking time where people had to write letters to each other in order to communicate. What do you fucking know, man?
Yeah. It's definitely interesting, but you know, when you're feeling low and you're all hormonal and sad and you need an outlook on life, that when you're in that void space and you need light to shine into it, sometimes you take a wild concept and all of a sudden the earth is flat.
Yeah.
And we all, you know what? We found a bad guy that we can all fight.
Yes.
And it's the round planet.
Or a group of people that I can assimilate into, even though it's fucking, I don't know, ISIS or something like that.
Exactly.
You find community that is just welcoming.
Finally, I'm not a weirdo.
Kind of yeah. So there you go. So instead of ostracizing people until they join ISIS, welcome them in, and you will have a much better person and a more improved society in the long run.
Well, and that's like you see in tribal communities where everybody's a family. Or I can look at my family because it's huge, and we're all very open and honest, and you can talk to each other about things.
Yeah.
If you don't have a support system, you will lose your goddamn mind.
Yes.
You need tangible people to come in and assist you. Because if you don't, you're gonna fucking fall prey to other people's mania.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of it. There's a lot of people trying to convert you to their way.
Yes.
Because it's the only way.
When you do not have access to smart, emotionally intelligent people, the people that you really need, the only voice you're going to hear is the one that speaks the loudest.
and usually it's the one that you want to hear. You know, because if you come to your parents and you go, Mom, I'm going to join the Navy. And you, okay, well, why do you want to join the Navy? Well, because I'm trying to kill some guys, and that sounds fun, or like, or whatever. And it's for the reason that might not be the best reason, but it's still a noble cause. But when you look at the dudes who went to Vietnam and they're in the helicopter, I'm gunning down children, and you see the darker aspect of man.
Yeah.
Because they joined a cause that would accept them and utilize that fury.
And so many of those men, what else did they have? And the U.S. military was likely just the voice that spoke the loudest, especially during Vietnam. I can only imagine what propaganda was looking like back then.
Looking like a lot of we need to do it.
Yeah.
The world, look at what we just saved the world.
Yeah. Go
and
fucking
like America as a thought process, we have this it's the same thing. Like America is like a weird cult.
Yeah.
Where we have all like, we're the American way. We need to be in everybody's backyard to police them and make them feel safe. We're the police of the world.
Such a constant God complex.
Yep.
Which is so weird. I mean, what does that come from? A fucking because we're young, because we're something new.
Well, yeah, because
we
we're
have a
the
bunch of
people.
money.
We're the ones that left. We're the angsty teen that
yeah.
left the oppressive family household
Huh.
and said, "No, we'll do it a better way."
Mm-hmm.
And all the fucking prisoners came over here
Yep.
and took everything. And we did the same thing that we didn't want in the first place. How does that one saying go where you live long enough to become the villain?
Oh, die a hero or live long enough to become the villain?
Yep.
Yeah, that's America.
America.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
or Rome or
any kind
Great
of
Britain.
Very successful. I mean, China's probably a pretty. I just heard on the fucking radio today of so many, like recent cyber attacks performed by China.
Oh yeah.
And how they have this gnarly plan to become the world power by 2049 or something like that, and it's just fucking. I mean, there's your example.
That's but one of many.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. That was fun.
That was.
This is the first episode of Nitro Ride.
This is that.
We talked about emotion and kind of took it to a completely different place. Oh God, how do you end these fucking things?
You say goodbye.